personal and have it in a way that where it touches the soul. And, you know, it to say, hey, this is about me, or this is about something that we probably all been through. And it's just, I'm still to this day, I try to work through it. You know, I just want to let you guys know that, you know, there are people out there, you know, somebody probably even, you don't even know, they're probably sitting right next to you, could probably help you to get through something, you know, and if listening to what I have to say can help, you know, it does, you know, and for me, on the other hand, it helps me a lot to know that there are other people who understand where I'm coming from. So it's just like, hey, man, you know, at the end of the show, they're always like, you know, I understood, I heard that song, you know, and I just thought about this with like my brother or my sister, and, you know, you just reminded me of them, man. I wish, you know, they heard the song.
Yeah, man, that's a beautiful, like, another thing, it connecting people to music, and it makes people respect what you do, but also be like, damn, somebody feels how I feel, and that's a perfect thing. You know, my favorite song from you guys is Prometheus. You know, that's like my jam, always and every day. You know what I'm saying?
You went Perseus. I was
like, Perseus. Ooh, shoot. Oh man, see, I'm already here messing things up, man. Yeah, see, yeah, that's what, you know.
Though. I like it though.
I'm already messing stuff up. Perseus, and Woven. Woven is definitely that jam. It is. I love it, man, because you guys have in there. You guys get a little bit more melodic, and there's definitely some tones in there that just. It's not just metalcore. It has a break in it that's real pretty, real nice, and then it picks back up into it, man. So let's talk about some of those songs, like especially like Woven, man. Definitely a great song, because and I'm sure I've told you this before, the first two songs of the record to me are different than the last three songs on the record. It's almost like two records in one, you know. With Enter the Void, you guys get real heavy, it gets real dark, it's brutal, man, right off the rip. And then then from Woven down down to the end of the record, it gets real melodic. I mean, even God Complex, which is just an instrumental, it's heavy, but it still has that melodic noise behind it, man. It definitely takes you to a different place. So when you guys were putting this record together, did you feel like let's just show them a little bit of everything that we're going to do, or a little bit of everything we're going to bring?
Oh, it was more of like, it was stuff that I could say it was more of they wanted to show how much they grew, or how much they can show, you know, what they can aim for and what they can go for and what they can do with it, you know. And that was one thing that they did, you know. Some of those songs are actually really old. I'm going to say that for Justin right now, because he gets on that every time. There are some old songs.
Yeah. No, I mean, I mean, they're it's still a good listen to, man. I've got it on my Spotify, so I listen to it just about once a week, man, because it's definitely one of my favorite records, especially motivation wise, man. It gets me going. And, you know, explain Perseus a little bit to me, man, because I know there's a story there. It's a really, really good song. It always hits me whenever I hear it, man, especially the breakdown and your singing, man. So if you could kind of deep dive into what that song is actually about.
That song actually was about being yourself and not trying to impress everyone else. It's just like, you know, I've seen too many people try to copy each other, one another, and things like that. You know, like musically wise too, and then it just not being themselves, and it just seemed like they're not happy. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, you're being something you're not. Exactly. You know, be yourself, be happy. You know, it's not worth all that. And, you know, people are going to go ahead and sit there, call each other out on social media. Well, you're fake or this and that, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a standard to where, like, you need to be in music, or, you know, like, oh, you have to be like this band, you know, then to get my attention and stuff like that. And I was just like, yeah, but things like that are just in for now for a couple of years, and then it's gone. You know, I was just like, it's like changing genres every time. You know, right now what's in is like, you know, like deathcore and slam. Don't get me wrong, I love that type of bands.
Yeah.
You know, but then that fades out, and then what's the next thing? We're going back to hardcore at this point, like bands like Knock Loose.
Yeah.
You know, and that's an old genre type of music. That's how, you know, and people are picking it up like it's new. But, you know,
that CU Space cowboy style is definitely in now. You know, it's that old 2008 MySpace metalcore.
Yeah,
like that spazzy type stuff, which I mean, I think to be honest with you, I think it's cool because I think if you can do it and execute it in a way that like See You Space Cowboy does, which I love what they do. But at some point you're going to get that point of there's too many bands that sound exactly like this and nobody's changing it. Nobody's adding anything different. You're just going with it because right now it's the it style, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that was the point of the song. It's just like, it's basically saying this is the it. And then just like, so Perseus, if you look up the Greek mythology on him and stuff like that, there was more of he didn't want to try to take help from, Zeus, his father. He wanted to do everything as who he was as he's like, I'd rather do this as a human. Of course he ended up getting like Pegasus and all this other stuff.
Yeah. No. And that's funny because I don't realize how much, and you're the second person I've had on the show that uses some type of Greek mythology for music. And I think that's cool because I think people don't realize that you can draw inspiration from different parts. And you even making that connection with the, Greek mythology of Perseus to now, it's just like, those are what those stories were written for. They were written so that they were, kind of a morale story, if you will, and you're giving people morality in music, if you will, and I think that's really, really cool. So we're going to move on to an interesting subject next. A lot of people don't know that me and you were the vocalist of a band at one time, not together, obviously.
Yeah. That would have been doped out. That would have been real doped out.
I don't think PAs could handle that much vocal range. But me and you both were in the band Devil Inside, and one of my favorite songs to perform was Looking Forward. If you could tell me what was one of your favorite Devil Inside songs performing?
I could say Looking Forward was one of them, but I could say Return to Me.
Okay.
Return to
I know that's Tom. I know that's one of Tom's favorites. Tom actually really, really loves that song. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So if you could go on and tell me what exactly is Looking Forward, because I'll be honest with you, whenever I used to hear that song, it instantly made me think of my wife and the things that we've been through relationship wise. So if you could
That's exactly what it's about.
Okay, I thought so.
That's exactly what it's about.
Yeah, I thought so.
It was about that. It was a while back. I was dating someone, but it didn't really work out so much. But I could say that if we were still close friends,
that's good.
But that was mainly what the song was about, like that, because at the end of the day, I could still go to this person, and they will always pull me out of the darkness of it. They always help me out, always be there. And it just like relationship wise, we couldn't obviously try to figure it out maybe one day, but it was just at the time of the dark place of where I was, that person was there always pulling me out and always saying like, just keep moving forward,
Yeah, man. There's nothing wrong with that, man, for real.
Yeah, but it was mainly that was about it. Like I wanted to go ahead and have something to where when I noticed that everyone had like their relationship and always trying to get through it, and it's always a struggle and things like that. And so, hearing that in like song, it just like people loved it. And it was just like, I'm calling up my ex-wife, and I'm just like, good Lord.
Nah, man. My perspective of it, me and my wife, is just always, we've been through so much. I've known her since I was like 17 and she was 15. And then there was like a few years where we really didn't talk to each other. And then back in 2012, we kind of reconnected after we had some shitty relationships end on our own. So like I moved back up here in 2017, and we've been together ever since, and just got married in September and shit like that. But definitely when I heard that song, it just made me instantly think about her and think about what we had been through. So if anything, man, you got me thinking about my lady when I hear it. Cause I listen to, once again, another record I listen to at least once a week because it was fun being in that band, Tom and Steve, they have their moments, but, as a whole in the band, it was fun, man, to sing those songs, man. And I think you wrote some great songs, man, that really, really kick ass. And I think they still mean stuff to me. They still mean stuff to Josh and Ray, all those guys and stuff. So, I think that's cool, and to be honest with you, I've always had love for you, man. And from the moment I ever heard you perform, I was just like, wow, this guy is just so much talent. You know, I often refer to you as the Beyonce of metal because you just, you know, you've got that range, man. It's insane. You hit them with those, you know, high devastating vocals and then just come in with those angelic singing chords and stuff like that. But I mean, you know, so what's going on? I've seen your social media. It looks like you guys are working on some music. Who's working on what? Because I can't tell who's doing what. Seems like both bands. Actually. I was going to say, it seems like both bands are working on music. How do you feel about being back in the studio and getting ready for this next set of recordings you guys are getting ready to put out there?
I could say it's stressful.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure.
It's stressful. And you have to deal with the two bands and you're just like, I'm excited though. It's just like it's trying to, you know, help pull everything together. Everyone's doing their part, trying to pull everything together and try to get it done, you know. And I'm really stoked about them. For Oath to Order, on the other hand, that we're almost done getting some stuff done. They're getting here tomorrow. Okay. They're coming here, and we're trying to go ahead and wrap things up, and then hopefully go into the studio. We're just doing a whole bunch of stuff, like basically writing. Exciting part for that is that we're going to get a guest vocals for that song, and that should be devastating. Like that vocalist is going to be so devastating on that.
I can't wait to hear
it's
that.
It's at 100. Yeah, it's not 100 on that guest vocalist, but I have been like sending out emails, talking to friends, and you know we're just been going back and forth and things like that, trying to figure it out. This person just got off a tour. And, you know, they're obviously going to go ahead and chill out for a little while.
Fingers crossed, man. I can't wait. Wait. I'm psyched now.
Yeah. That's so I'm trying to go ahead and get them on it. I could say for Halflink, we actually just finished getting the song mixed and mastered. And we got it done through our friend, Lee. He basically was the same lead that mixed and mastered and record Hollow Front.
Okay.
And things like that. It was just like, they're phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I love those guys for sure. No, I get excited because I've seen, you know, some of the stuff you post on, you know, Instagram and stuff like that. Especially seeing, you know, because, you know, I love Ray, and Ray's, you know, doing drums on the record. So I know he's got to be excited and jazzed to really just lay down some sick shit. He's a man of a million ideas and a million opinions. That's why I love him so much, man.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited for him. I'm excited for all of you guys, but I'm excited for him personally because I know he's been really craving that itch to put something down that he's really, really excited about. And I know he gets jazzed with that. But anyways, before we call it quits on this conversation, man, is there anything else you'd like to talk about in the way of, you know, shows coming up for you guys, plans for tours next year? I mean, you know, it's almost the end of the year. Besides putting out some kick-ass fucking music, what else do you guys have set up for you know, the upcoming new year?
At most for Halflink, we're actually in the works of trying to get some merch done. That's the only thing we have done. We have a couple of shows getting done. I'm trying to get in contact with a few more venues and try to go ahead and book some more shows and have some more bands coming here. You know, like last time I booked my own show, I remember that, and it was with like, you know, Monument of Memory, you know, As Within, So Without, you know, Old Heart and things like that, and that show was amazing. Like it was a huge turnout. I didn't expect that many people to show up, but I was like, oh wow. And people were like, oh wow, this is in Bridgeport, like what?
No, that's what's up, man.
But but I'm trying to go ahead and do that. But for now, Halflink is they're actually going back into some more writing, but we do have one more show actually coming up in December. Or today, you know, it's end in December. On the 15th at the Cave in West Haven, we had that one show going on.
Yeah, we played there before. Yeah. That's isn't that the one with the patio stage? It's like outside or something like that. I think so.
I think they might. I don't really try to discover too much what they do out there, but I don't know.
I think we played there. I think we played there one time before, like a while ago. I want to say maybe like a year ago. So I'm not sure. That's cool.
Yeah, so we were playing out there again for one more time, and then after that, they're going to go ahead and go into hibernation to go ahead and write some more music and everything else. So we're trying to go ahead and see if we can get a music video done for this new song that's out, that we have, finished and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That one, we've been sitting on it for about like a year, or actually more, and it's been something we've been wanting to put out, and we're finally doing that, and we're stoked for that one.
Hell yeah, man.
I already know. Yeah. Other than that, I know